What is going on, everyone? I want to talk to you today about multi-sig wallets. I get asked this all the time from enterprise customers, large brands and IPs, like, hey, Corey, how do we get more secure? They see a hack in the news. They see the Bored Apes getting hacked. They see Axie getting hacked. Like, Corey, how do we get better about this? How do we get more secure? Well, that's a great question. And there's a lot of different things that play into this. It's not just one, but this is one of the most simple things that you can do to really start to beef up that internal security. And it's really, really not difficult to do at all. It is called multi-sig wallets. Now, what are multi-sig wallets? Conceptually, it's very, very simple to understand. A lot of it's based on, the well-known security principle of split control, where your goal is to really eliminate a single point of failure, whether that is like human, whether it's insider breaches or compromised or external compromised. And in order to beat a multi-sig setup, there basically would require some level of collusion between multiple parties or a system-wide compromise. Like either way, it's better than relying on just a single point of failure and a single wallet signer. And it's not rocket science. It's not. All it is basically says that, like, hey, one or more people have to approve this transaction before it goes out. It can't just be one. And if when you do that, the more people that you have and the more people that you require to approve it, the more secure your system becomes. And so again, why multi-sig? I haven't made it clear by now. It's your security. And why do we need this? And why do we need this now? It's because all of these hacks are coming as more and more digital value continues to be created in the metaverse and Web3, whatever you want to call it. More and more malicious actors and more, quite frankly, shitty people are going to be out there trying to hack it and steal it. That's how the world works. It's no different. And being able to help protect your organization between this stuff using whatever tools you have necessary, especially for businesses, is something that you should be doing. And with that, even in multi-sig, there's basically two types, and conceptually these are not hard. Nothing is rocket science. You can tell someone tonight at dinner, hey, do you know about N of M multi-sig architecture? And you can learn them a little bit. Sit down, let me learn you. So N of N mean basically that all the keys have to sign. So 2 of 2 or a 5 of 5. Multi-sig architecture means that 5 of the 5 have to sign before a transaction can be approved. N of M means that only some of the keys are needed. So for instance, a 5 of 9 multi-sig setup means that only 5 of the keys, doesn't matter which ones, only 5 have to approve the transaction in order for it to be validated and put on chain. Now, something to note is that N of M structures are pretty common and DAOs and other areas because they are efficient, and at times things do go bad. A great example of this is Axie. When the Ronin network was hacked, they basically had 9 validators. 5 of those were compromised, and thus the attack was able to happen. Now, I'm not banging Axie at all. Maybe a little more 9 than 9 have $1 billion worth of assets floating around. I don't know. Again, this is on them, not on us. But N of M means only some subset. Now, an example of a 2 to 2 or a N of N is basically a two-factor kind of authentication, right? So this means that your keys are held on 2 different devices and therefore they are split, which means that you are reducing the opportunity for one system to be compromised and thus losing control of multiple keys and therefore getting kind of screwed. This does have a great sense of security. The downfall is that if one of these becomes compromised for whatever reason, then you would lose access, which is not great. So make sure if you are doing a 2 of 2 that you do have some form of a backup and able to get that or retrieve it off of whatever devices that you're having them on. 2 of 3 is a N of M, right? So we're saying that we only need 2 out of the 3 keys to sign in order to approve a transaction or authorize a transaction. We see this a lot. So regardless of what happened with Ronin, we do see this a lot, especially in the enterprise setting. And one of the setups for this, or that we have seen, and this is just a very, very light example, but the idea that if you had 2 of 3, one of the copies of your one private key might be stored online. So this might be controlled through an admin panel, through managed access. The second one is stored offline, so not on a computer, all you young people out there, might be hard to think, but you can store data off of a computer. We call that like the paper backup. So we might write it down, put it on a sticky note, put it in a safe, put it somewhere good. And then the third one is where you actually give the third key to a completely separate company. These are usually security or data companies that you're able to give it to, that they are able to store it securely. Now you are spread, right? Now you look at your vulnerability points are much more dispersed rather than being all in one place. And another kind of interesting one is this 1 of 2 multisig, and this is where you can have like shared account, right? So you might trust your best friend and you're trying to share stuff back and forth a lot. That means that, you know, basically any one of the 2 keys can sign a transaction and say that they are authorizing that transaction to go through. And the great thing about this is that it allows 2 people to operate the funds independently. And we see this like set up a little more frequently around the like automated backend stuff. So if you are have like these hot wallets with low balance that are paying or supporting transactions on the front end marketplace or platform, that being able to sign it with multiple different keys is super helpful, because you might need to be signing it through 2 different instances or something of that nature. But at the end of the day, there are some companies out there that help and will support you with your multisig wallet. Brain just turned off for a second. But some great companies out there that will help you with your multisig wallet. Like, these are by no means the end all be all. This is not sponsored. These are just ones that I have found online that looked really good. But again, at the end of the day, if you are a large brand or enterprise and you are in Web3 or thinking about getting into Web3, it is very critical for you to think about how you protect your digital assets, especially as you're going to start moving more and more in that direction, and being able to provide like these vaults and things that have that have very robust procedures and things around them that enable a heightened level of security beyond what you might typically do. Because again, transactions in Web3 are typically irreversible. So if someone comes and takes all of your candy, there is not much you can do. But with that, if you have any more questions, I'm going to put some links down below. And if you enjoyed this, then please subscribe, because we're going to be posting more and more and having some guests on soon. And with that, Keith, let's get it.